I also like to talk about God, and I would speak to anyone, whoever would ask me, like the rickshaw driver who would take me to school would ask me, "Hey, Saju, where is God?" I'd say, "Well, God is in this rickshaw. God is in me. God is in you. God is in the air. God is in the plants. God is in the trees." I mean, how come I knew all this? Hi, everybody. Welcome to my episode about my journey, my quest for peace, my spiritual journey. That this has been easy is lying to you, because there's been a lot of push and pull in my brain and my heart. I've been getting so much push to do this. The last time I recorded this was a month ago for my birthday. That's how I started the introduction. And this is the second episode. But it's taken me a while to get back into it. And I haven't even released the first two sessions yet, because I have had this tug of war going on. Do I really want to do this? And why should I do this? What is it going to help? How is it going to help? The same old thing over and over again. So my brain tells me one thing, my heart and my gut tells me, go for it, go for it. My brain says, yeah, but. And I've had this tug of war before, actually twice before. The first time was when I was thinking, or when I was trying to decide whether I want to get a divorce or not. I mean, after 35 years, I guess I was comfortable in this place, and stepping out into the unknown was the most difficult thing. But my heart and my gut kept pushing me, do it, do it, do it. And I kept saying, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, what's going to happen? How am I going to survive? How am I going to do this on my own? But it took a lot of courage to take that step, and I pushed through the fear. That fear really, oh my gosh. I pushed through that fear. I took the step. This is almost 8 years later. Best decision I've made. I feel so wonderful. I'm living my best life. The next time this happened was with Infinite Love, with my nonprofit that has been around for 14 years. On the 14th year, on the 13th year, I was contemplating what should I do, because it was not, working out so much as far as sustaining it. Was not getting enough donations and things like that. So it wasn't sustainable. So I did not know what to do. Should I just close it? And then this idea or the thought came up of making it into a wellness center, because we're already doing the inner work with meditations and workshops. How about, the physical? And so we went looking around. We got these wonderful new technology, pretty pricey, but I thought, maybe I can bring that into Infinite Love and see how that goes and start charging, because before everything was free. So maybe that will be more sustainable and still give people the best value for their money. I really struggled with that. It took me a few months. And again, the same thing, my gut and my heart, go, go, go. And my brain was saying, with what money? How are we going to get this money? I have to go around finding donors. And, so again, that fear. Once again, I just got courageous and I went out and I did it. So that has been, again, another beautiful thing, because it's been since 8 months since we started, and it's been really slowly but surely growing and doing really well. It's helped a lot of people already. So those were really good. And now this, being vulnerable, being out there, gosh, really being seen. And I'm not used to being seen. I'm used to hiding. I'm used to being behind the scenes, and I'm always doing things behind the scenes and letting others, go forward and take the limelight. And here I am, completely vulnerable and telling you who I am, my story. So it's been very difficult to allow myself to be seen. And that might be something that a lot of you might be going through too. But again, once again, I have taken this step. I'm walking through the fear and I'm just going forward, and let's see where it takes me. So today I wanted to talk about my childhood, my spiritual journey from childhood, and all my traditions and things like that. So as a child, I can't really remember how I was when I was a little little girl. So I asked my mother, and I asked her, well, how was I as a child, Mom? And she says, well, you were born very beautiful, very fair. Now, the culture in India was, the beauty of, if you're fair, you're beautiful, is what the cultural norm is in India. Of course, because I was fairer than most, for some reason, I got a lot of attention, and everyone apparently was saying that, oh, how pretty she is, and things like that. And then also, as a spiritual being, as a very young age, apparently at the age of 3 or 4, I used to go for walks with my mom. And if we were passing either a mosque or a church or a temple, I would stop, pray, bow my head and pray. And even at that age, I guess I knew we were all one. That's very strange, and I'll think back and I say, how's that possible? How did I know all of this? Apparently, I also like to talk about God, and I would speak to anyone, whoever would ask me, like the rickshaw driver who would take me to school would ask me, "Hey, Saju, where's God?" And I'd say, "Well, God is in this rickshaw. God is in me. God is in you. God is in the air. God is in the plants. God is in the trees." I mean, how come I knew all this? I don't know. My mother also told me that she used to take me to the temple every week, what you would call a Sunday school. And the teacher told my mom that Saju is always paying attention and listening while all the other children are fidgeting and playing around. She sits very focused and listens. And I do remember a little bit of that. I do remember that I totally loved Krishna, Lord Krishna. I was in love with Krishna at that age. I remember telling my mom this, and she remembers that, Mom, if I ever get married, it has to be with Krishna. That didn't happen though. Anyway, so I was very, very spiritual right from a very young age. And sometimes I wonder why. I think about it because this thing about knowing that God is in everything, I didn't understand that till now, why we say that. So I wondered why I had the spiritual streak in me. Was it past life, or was it because of my ancestors? Was it in my blood, on my DNA? So I started inquiring. I found out that my paternal grandparents were always wanting a male child because they had children who were females. And every time my grandmother conceived a male child, it would not survive, either in childbirth or before. And so she thought maybe it's like a curse or something. And it was very important to have a male child in the Indian culture because they are the ones who carry on the name, the family name. So she went to her guru and asked the guru to bless her with a son, and that if the child survived, she would, take him to the church or to the temple where her guru was, to work there, to serve. And so the guru agreed and blessed her. And true enough, my father was born. So he was a blessing given to my grandmother through a very powerful guru. So that itself, is a very big blessing on the whole family. So we were already in the trajectory of being spiritual. And when the child was born, my grandmother took him to the temple and offered him to the guru but the guru said, no, take him back. And when he's ready, when he's old enough and he's ready and he wants to serve, you can bring him back. And that's how it went. My father did not want to serve. He was more happy. He said, I'm not going to go to a temple and serve. I want to enjoy life. So then my grandmother went to the guru, and the guru said, no problem, just buy him back from me and give me $1. So she gave him $1. He says, okay, now he's all yours. But eventually my father did become very spiritual. He actually started a temple here in Texas of another great saint. And so he did continue to be a spiritual leader, to say, that he was blessed to be. So because of him, I suppose in the lineage, I got all that spiritual knowledge and the spiritual blessings. The second person I found out about in my ancestors was my father's stepsister. Apparently, she was amazing. My mother told me about her. She always talks about her. She said she was the kindest person, the nicest person you could ever meet. She went to the same guru and asked for blessings that she can serve him. And so she was always in the temple serving all the people that came there and serving him. And this guru blessed her immensely. She was so awesome that if anybody was in trouble and they needed financial help, she had her bowl of savings and she would just put her hand in it. Whatever came out, she would give it to them, never asking for them to be repaid. If anybody came to her doorstep, whether it would be the vegetable seller, the milk seller, or anyone came by to deliver or pick up something, she would make sure that they got a bottle of water or a glass of water and some cookies or some kind of food or nuts or something. She would never let anyone leave her doorstep empty-handed. And this continues even to this day. My parents do the same things. They have these bottles of water and cookies kept right by the door. Anyone who comes, here's some water, some cookies, and everyone is so shocked, but nobody ever leaves their doorstep without something. And I do that sometimes too, not all the time, but I do. And I learned all of this from them because when I was running Infinite Love, we did everything for free. We served dinner to everyone who came in. We did meditations. We didn't charge for anything. We just gave. And this all came from my parents and my ancestors. Also, interesting thing with my aunt, my mom tells me of an incident that my aunt was very sick one time and she got paralyzed. She was in bed. And she was so unhappy, of course, because now she couldn't move. And she called on the guru and told him, all my life, I have served you and I've never asked for anything. But today, I ask you to either free me from this paralysis, that means heal me, or just take my life. I cannot live this life. You have to do something. Can you believe it? True. In a few days, she was healed. Imagine that. So I have truly been blessed to have ancestors. And I know there are more stories, and I know there must be more that I don't know about. And I'm still searching and researching to find out more. But that was an amazing thing that I learned. So there's something I wrote down that I'd like to share with you. Okay. Looking back, my childhood was more than play and school. It was a spiritual apprenticeship. I didn't even know it was. Those early prayers, those stories of Krishna, the open-hearted giving, they became my anchors in the storm to come. And there were many. There were. So I invite you, think back to your own childhood. What spiritual seeds were planted in you before you even knew their meaning? Who were the elders, the quiet guides, who shaped your sense of the sacred? Which traditions have you kept? Which have you refined? Which have you let go? These are the roots of your peace, and knowing them is part of your quest. Thank you, everyone, for listening. See you on the next episode. Bye for now. Quest for Peace, a podcast about navigating outer chaos with inner harmony. Whether you're seeking solace in the midst of life's challenges or simply curious about the profound connection between inner and outer peace, the Quest for Peace podcast is your guide on this transformative expedition.